We are talking the latest Detroit Lions news. We're going to get into that. Marvin Jones Jr. obviously released. What should the Lions do to replace his roster spot? The latest rumors regarding trade. We're going to go over some of these articles and talk about it, give the thoughts. That's what this video is about. Let's go. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 9,000 subscribers. Quite difficult when you're a small channel. So help out, subscribe as we continue to grow this bad boy up there. If you want a perspective from fans as well as a former player. Start with Marvin Jones Jr. Pretty much everybody knows here. He is stepping away from the game due to family matters. And the Lions released him for that, respecting his wishes there. Marvin Jones Jr. is a class act, pro, A+. The guy is a great human being. I wish him nothing but the best. Prayers sent. Don't know what's going on with his family, and it's none of my business. Get better, my man. Hopefully you take care of it. We, as a fan base, absolutely appreciate everything that you brought to this football team on and off the field. Just a great human being all around, and you know, it sucks to see you go through family issues, my man. You're such a good guy that it's a terrible thing there for this to occur. So hopefully, whatever the situation is, you guys can get better at it and you can take care of the problem, and everything is good from there. So what should the Lions do to fill his roster spot for wide receiver position? There's not a lot out there, in all honesty, in the free agent market. There's just not. When you look at some of these players, it's like, right? Kenny Galladay, former Lion, he ain't coming back here. There's not a lot there. So what the Lions can do is they can either just go ahead and keep what they got here with Antoine Green. Of course, I think he's going to be part of the solution. They can poach other practice squads, maybe for another wide receiver out there for that depth piece, or they could make a small end trade or some sort of trade at the trade deadline. Now, when I say trade, it doesn't necessarily mean you're giving up draft picks. Maybe it's a player swap, it's a low end trade, a back end draft pick, or they can go like a DeAndre Hopkins to fill that spot. In all honesty, I think they need to get a wide receiver. Not sure how they're going to get the wide receiver, but when you do lose one, you need to have a spot and fill that spot. Now, look, Marvin Jones Jr. wasn't doing anything spectacular this year, and we all know that. But it is one player less for that position. So, and we did like his veteran leadership that he brought to the football team. We'll see what the Lions do, but I think they need to add a wide receiver. I just don't know how. Doesn't necessarily have to be a trade, but I think we got to get that spot in there. So let me know in the comment section, how would you fill the wide receiver position? Would you go to another practice squad? Would you make a trade? Would you do a free agent here that's available? Not really big names, not really good options for the Lions. Let's get into the latest Lions rumors here. And this occurred websites as well as Dan from Lions Talk Live talking about how putting a player such as Jonathan Allen on this football team could help out the interior defensive line, and I do believe that's the case. Does he want out of Washington? Potentially. I mean, that's what Dan's saying, and obviously we've seen him get very angry in a interview, very upset losing. I mean, look, if the Lions were to trade for him, he would be better for the interior defensive line. Absolutely. I mean, you get pressure in the interior, just makes everything better. And I think he would be an upgrade, but you're going to have to give up a third-round pick, I think, for him, and it could be more because he's still an impact player. He's still a good player for the defensive line. I don't know if that's something the Lions will look at because we haven't given up a lot in trades yet so far with Brad Holmes. Generally, the trades that we have done has been like a Trinity Benson type of trade where you're not doing anything high, and to get a Jonathan Allen would be I think the Lions should make a move. I'm not going to lie. At the trade deadline, I want them to get a move, help this defense out. We need help on the defense. We have some injuries at corner. I think we all can agree we need another bookend option of Aidan Hutchinson, and you can always upgrade the defensive line. I don't know if he's a legit option for the Lions, though, just because of the cost it would take to get it. Now, here's another article talking about the pros and cons of getting Danielle Hunter. I just wanted to do this one really quick here because I don't believe the Detroit Lions are going to trade now for Danielle Hunter because the Vikings won. It's not because we don't want him. I'm sure the Lions have called on him. But the Vikings defeated the 49ers. I don't know if they're ready to give up the season for that. You defeat a team that is considered a Super Bowl contender. You're 3-4. You're just a couple games out of the tying the Detroit Lions, right? Lions lose, the Vikings win. They're really close, and they're in prime position for a wild card spot. So I don't think that the Vikings are going to trade Danielle Hunter now. I want him. Hell yeah, I'd love him on this defensive line. He would be great. But will the Lions able to make the Vikings trade him? Would the Vikings? I don't think so. I don't. He's the leader in sacks in the NFL, and they're 3-4. They could get hot. It's not out of the realm of possibility, and they got a schedule that's pretty easy like the Lions. I don't think they're as good as the Lions, but hell, I mean, look, if you can get to the dance, to a playoff game, any team can make a run, and they're right there in a playoff run for a wild card spot. So I don't think they trade him, but I'd love to have him. Definitely. Now, here is this. I seen this tweet live yesterday, and this came from Cam Marino. It says, with the NFL trade deadline approaching, I'm told by sources that the Detroit Lions have been aggressive in their approach to acquire defensive talent. After the loss by 32 points, the Lions may seek to upgrade their defensive line or secondary. Now, we've been hearing Fuller, Chase Young, and Montez Sweat from the Washington Commanders. Commanders, I could absolutely be sellers at the NFL trade deadline. Their team is not good. And look, yes, they got 3 wins, but in all honesty, I feel like this team is not as good even as their 3 wins suggest, or 2 wins. They're just not that great of a football team. I can see them trading some players, and I absolutely could see the Lions calling. I want Chase Young. I've been saying it for a while. I think he'd be great for the Detroit Lions defensive line. We need to have another edge rusher opposite of Aidan Hutchinson. I wouldn't mind Montez Sweat as well. I think he's better than what we got opposite of Aidan. It would be nice. Fuller as well. Put him out there. Look, he's not the greatest cornerback in all football, but he's much better than Will Harris. And I'm worried if Cherry Jacobs goes down again, or if Cam Sutton happens. You have Will Harris out there, we're done. It's over. The Lions need to get a corner. Lions need to get some help on defense. This is a big time for the Lions. We have to take advantage of the NFC North sucking. We have to win the division. And you're seeing moves made by the Philadelphia Eagles. You see them done by San Francisco 49ers. We need to make a move. We got draft picks. We can make a splash. It doesn't have to be the biggest name in the world. Fuller's not the biggest name. But get something done so we don't get screwed. We're 1 injury away in the secondary for being screwed royally. We need someone to help Aidan Hutchinson in the pass rush. I love building through the draft, but I just believe the Lions' depth is so good next year that you're going to have a problem keeping all your draft picks. Right now, Broderick Martin hasn't even played. A 3rd-round pick for the team. He hasn't played yet. We traded up to get him. And next year, I think the depth is going to be even better, so it's going to be difficult for some of these draft picks to make the Lions squad. And I really don't want to draft a player to release him. It seems like it's a waste of a draft pick. So I do want the Lions to make a move. I absolutely do. I think they should make a move. I think they really should. And we're going to see a lot of rumors all the way up till deadline. I don't know. It would probably happen after Monday Night Football. I don't see anything happening before then. It would be after Monday Night Football, before the trade deadline on Tuesday. Because they'll have a real grasp of what this team looks like. But Will Harris playing outside corner is an absolute detriment to the football team. We've been saying it for years. And it's something we don't want to see this team screw up. Have Harris go down, have Jacobs go down, and him have to be there for a period of time. That would be terrible for the Lions secondary. We've got killed with injuries. We need to make sure that the Lions are good to go. Going forward, where we have an opportunity to make some noise this year. We're in the NFC. We're one of the best 4 teams in the NFC. We have a chance to host a playoff game and win a playoff game. We got to do it this year. I think anything less than winning the NFC North and winning a playoff game is failure. We're sitting at. It's failure, and I think it would be a failed season. And it would make a lot of people mad, because if not now, when are you going to do it? It's the weakest we see in the NFC North. And we're a strong team. We can't let a couple players destroy us and destroy what we have done this year. So I hope they make a move. I do. I don't know if they will, but I hope so. That's what I want to see. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're literally trying to get to 9,000 subscribers, just like we were saying earlier. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions.